In this masterclass, we're working with Summer and Lucas and their military macaw, Scarlet. Now, Scarlet's about 18 years old. She is a female. She has a little bit of scissor beak where her upper mandible looks like she has a broken nose. Still super cute, but definitely one of the challenges that they have encountered with her. This bird has quite an interesting history and a lot of unknown history. And when we work with birds whose history is less than ideal, we're undoing a lot of bad behavior and we're trying to recondition that, hey, humans aren't actually that bad. At least these humans aren't. One of the things that they wanted to work on today was just taking their training to the next level. The progress that these two had already made with their bird was amazing, and they just wanted these little tips. I will say that oftentimes at master classes we have huge challenges to overcome, and oftentimes we also have just little tiny improvements that by making a little adjustment in the way somebody handles can make a massive change over time. Give me a wave.
Oh, wow. That's a really good wave. It's still there.
She says, keep them coming. Good girl. Thank you, baby.
So that was a big ask since her tail had to be pushed against the wall.
Yeah.
I didn't know if she was going to complete that.
Yeah.
So
That was great.
I often say when we are doing training, start with what's working. So in having the conversation with Summer and Lucas, I found out that Scarlet would actually do this waving behavior. And I had actually asked Lucas to go over and do some easy behaviors like the wave. And she was offering with her left foot, but then when he cued it, she lifted her right foot. So I said, have you trained her to wave with different feet? And Lucas got all excited. He's like, yeah, actually, this bird is trained to go like this, and then this, and then this, and then this. And so he tried to do it, and despite his best efforts and his best intentions, she refused. But then Summer chimed in and said, actually, it's because I've done the training. So we wanted to work on showing them how to transition her doing the cue to having him do the cue, using something that you've probably heard about us talk about a lot called behavioral momentum.
Next one. Next one. Oh, next one. There you go.
So Summer walked up to Scarlet and did the cues. And we got all the right behaviors, and there was a click and a reward. Well, using the concept of behavioral momentum, we have Summer go ahead and do that over and over and over, and then have Lucas jump in and try to give the same cue. Next one.
Yeah.
Entry, yeah.
Yay.
Kind of.
Good job, guys.
And you could quickly see that it didn't go perfectly. So this was an opportunity for us to talk about what I refer to as a training accent. So the example I typically give is I live in northern Idaho, and if I go down to Louisiana, they sound a lot different than we do in northern Idaho. This is because they have an accent. Now, of course, I understand what they say in Louisiana, but it sounds different. That's exactly what it's like for this macaw. You see, Summer's cue is very clear, where Lucas's had an accent. She could figure it out eventually, but it looked, and we'll call it sounds, a little bit different. So we used the momentum of having Summer do the cue. She did it over and over and over, getting repetitions that were getting reinforced. And then we had Lucas jump in and try to pick up since we had established that momentum. You could see that we still had to work through some of these challenges, and it wasn't a direct transfer over, but by the end of the session, Lucas was able to get much closer with being able to give the cue and have Scarlet respond with the exact behavior he was looking for. Overall, their long-term goal is to get Scarlet to be able to fly. But because she's 18 and there's not a known history of her flying, there's a lot of muscle atrophy, and as they described, when something frightens her, she often falls. So in order to start working on recalls, I gave them some homework of doing walking recalls. Because if you think about it, just having the bird step up, which in their case is on their arm right now, because there's probably some scary history of a hand from a past life, but having both feet and the weight transfer onto their arm is the beginning of a recall. Since if you look at a flighted recall, we're really clicking and capturing the moment that the bird's feet land, in this case again on their arm. So I want them to start by doing simple walking recalls. If you want to see more of what that looks like, you can simply see the video we did on Sunny on our YouTube channel.